Test 1 2. There we go. All right, it's March 23rd. Just before the open, it's 8:27 Central Time. Jerome Powell spoke this morning. He spoke this morning. Let me zoom some of my stuff out here. Taking a look at the E-mini and the NASDAQ. We're just marking their levels for what they did overnight. There we go. Zoom this out. Okay. Right, so just a few seconds before the open here, I am watching the 15-minute chart here, and then I've got the minute chart on this side. The green and red line indicate overnight high and low, and I will also annotate the opening range, so the first minute's worth of price action, with a like an orange color line here. So once price does this thing here, give it a minute, and I'll annotate that. Let me pull up the NASDAQ just to see how it's looking. All right. Oops. So here we're opening really close to the overnight low. It seems like that's going to get breached at some point. Don't exactly know when. And so let's think back to yesterday. It was kind of a slow grind higher for a lot of the day. Then we just held that area. So an area of resistance we'd think could be around 90. That could be fair. Fair to assume that 90 might be an area of resistance. We do have, let's see, new home sales at 9 o'clock Central Time. So I'll be mindful of that. And let's take a look at let's look at the daily here. So here's the daily chart. Same thing. I've got my lines for the opening range annotated right here. This is what we've done the last week. Well, last, I don't know, 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, 7. So I would think at some point we'd consolidate a little bit before pushing higher, if we do push higher. But it's really anyone's guess. So that's what we're looking at there. Let me pull up the NASDAQ as well. All right, here's the NASDAQ. Just kind of hanging out, doing its thing. Let me see. Let's go back to the screen. There we go. So I'm also watching. I'm not watching exclusively the 1 minute here and the 15-minute chart here. I'm keeping an eye on the daily chart, kind of looking for levels that I like. And of course, I'm looking at the NASDAQ as well, watching for cues on it. But pretty much with the Emini S&P 500, I'll watch the day, the 15-minute right here, the 5-minute, and then the 1 minute. The 1 minute moves fast, but it just kind of gives me a little bit of nuance as to what's happening at certain prices. Certainly have some support in this area, I'd say. Now, yesterday we opened, it looks like high 60s, 67, 68, just blasted off. It didn't really look back at all, held that area. So again, we've got resistance above at 90, and what I feel would be support, first level support at least, around the low 60s. Not to say we can't go a bit lower, or much higher, or a lot lower, or higher. Oops. And so NASDAQ still hanging out below its overnight low. S&P is right there. Oops. Just trying to get out of a put I sold here in FedEx a while back. Looks like that just went through. All right, so let's get back to the E-mini. Check it out here. So not much going on right here. Again, here's our 15-minute chart. I'm gonna step away just for a minute. I will be right back. All right. So I'm back. We've got about 8 more minutes until the new home sales. Data is out. And watching the markets here, I'm just not seeing too much as of yet. Not much going on. So here we got pretty close to that the low 60s there that I mentioned earlier. How this could be some sort of support. So we'll keep that in mind. But like I said, we do have the economic data coming out. I'm keeping an eye on the NASDAQ. Let's see here. Monday. NASDAQ 2 is not too far from support. So NASDAQ resistance is up around 14.6, which is just in the middle of the overnight range, and then support, lower support is around 14.360. All right. So we're going to keep in mind whenever we place a trade, if we find a spot that's good, we're going to try to figure out how long we anticipate this trade to last. We also want to know what our scale out areas are. And certainly we want to know where we're wrong structurally. We'd want to figure if the price goes to a certain level, we would know that we're wrong and we're going to get out of it. So I've mentioned before that oftentimes I have a false belief that I'm going to miss some of my trades, when in actuality the type of trading that I do, it's usually stuff that lasts quite a bit longer relative to what I've done in the past. So in the past I might see a level, get in and be out within a minute or 2 minutes or a few minutes or even a few seconds. And now I'm quite a bit more patient, looking for longer term levels, areas where I'm thinking other people, institutions, and other time frame traders are going to be doing business. So I can often have an erroneous belief that if I'm just not lightning quick with the trigger, with clicking the mouse, that I might miss it. And for me, with the type of trading that I do, that's really not the case. 95% of my setups allow me 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes to generate an idea, have kind of a premise as to what I'm going on, what I'd like to see before I do anything. And then even once price maybe comes to my area, I've usually got a minute or even 2 to make a final decision as to what I'm going to do when price comes to that certain area. So with that said, it's good to not get antsy. It's good to know that, hey, for your setups, you're not going to miss them. Every now and then I'll miss something, and that just happens. That's part of the game. We can't be on every trade, right? You can't trade everything that works well. It's just not realistic. All right, so we've got our data coming out here in just over 3 minutes. Again, the main thing I'm looking at here, let me zoom this out to like 5-day, 15-minute. It's still, let me, time frame, let's go, how about 3? Let's try 3 days, see how that looks. Yeah, it looks a little better. All right, so that's what we're looking at on the 15-minute. We've got support down here in the low 60s. As you can see, we kind of came down here, popped up. And then resistance here, I would call it in the low 90s. Probably, yeah, 90 up to 94. 90 to 94. We'll see if this market data moves the market at all. Similar situation here on the NASDAQ. We've got what could be some resistance right here. I'm going to take this bar away. So we've got what could be some support down here. Maybe another level a little bit lower. And then what's probably going to be deemed as resistance up above. So we'll be watching those areas and see if we get any action in those spots. All right, back to the main thing, which is the E-mini, for me at least. Got our data in just another minute and 20. I don't have any real strong conviction today as to what I think the market might do just yet. And again, some of my trades are longer term. For me, you know, longer term would be a half hour or an hour for runners. And then others are shorter term, where I'm in it and out within minutes. Usually, however, I've stated in the past that when I place a trade, just about all of my winners, they'll really do what I need them to do within 10 or 15 minutes. It's usually not too long that I need to give them to start behaving and acting appropriately. It's the trades that I'm in, and let's say I add to it. I kind of know where a stop loss would be, but I'm a little bit fuzzy as to where it should be, and I think there's multiple levels where I could scale in. It's trades like that that just don't work out well for me. All right, here we go. 15 seconds before market data. Now, I'm not listening to the data. I don't know what it is. I really don't care. I'm just watching to see what price does and how price reacts to whatever data is given. And I never know. Sometimes the data is a little bit late. Sometimes it's early. Well, it's seldom early. And we're getting gold moving up a little bit. All right, watching the 1 minute. We came down to that area again. Gave a little test. Let's see if we push back above now. And yeah, just looking at the daily, I don't have a big bias one way or the other. Let's look at yesterday's open. Where are we at here? Yesterday. Oops. Up to it. 68 down to 66. All right. Let's see here. I might consider a short here in a little bit. Not just yet, though. All right, I'm considering a short here. I'd be wrong above 76. I'm going to go ahead and sell some right here. I don't love this one, but I'm going to take a crack at it. NASDAQ looks kind of weak to me. Again, we're not too far from support, though, on NASDAQ. So we'll watch here. I don't have a hard stop right here at 76. Thinking that it may, come up and then push lower. And again, looking at the 15-minute, we're just kind of in no man's land. We've got resistance up here at 90, support down here, right, not too far from where we're at, actually. So we've got to give it a little time to set up. This one for me, again, I mentioned earlier, my time frame. With this, another 10, 15 minutes I think would be adequate. Unless, of course, I get stopped up before then. Really want to see it stay below the overnight low. That's what I'm looking for. All right, I do have a hard stop in right now at 78 quarter. Man, if we can pull back a little bit down into here, I'll probably just take it off. Yeah, not really what I want to see here. Just looking for a breakdown here. Okay, I'm stopped out. My stop was right here at that level, so I'm out of that one. Yeah, I was sawing this kind of, W shape and got short here thinking that we might continue down, and then it kind of started to firm up here and thought, I really don't like it. NASDAQ at the time was below the overnight low. So I thought that might add a little fuel to the fire, but it didn't happen. Maybe got a little bit too antsy on that one, but and again, I was in small. I remember saying that I just didn't love that trade. Wasn't excited about it or anything like that. And took it thinking that we didn't really have too much room to move lower. It was like a 1-to-1 trade where whatever unit I'd risk, that would be what I was looking to make on it. Well, kind of just stuck here in no man's land. And really, that was the level to get through, right? I mean, as mentioned earlier, that's all this big node right here of time hanging out at this level proved to be support, at least in the short term. Looks similarly on the NASDAQ. Let's see here. See, at this point when I shorted, NASDAQ was under here. This bar was still red, kind of hanging out lower. And I thought we might get a little bit pushed further to the downside with support here, maybe even into it a little bit. That obviously didn't happen. And so now in my mind, we're just kind of back in no man's land with support here, resistance up here. The E-mini looks quite similar. Let's see what they do here in the opening range. At this point, I feel like you flip a coin, could hang and go lower. I feel like the odds favor us pushing up a little bit higher, exploring price higher. I feel like today could be rotational, meaning that we just go back and forth, find value somewhere in this area throughout the course of the day, similar to yesterday. Well, similar to yesterday as far as finding value between, like, say 85 and 4,500. That's really where value was established. Okay, a little bit of a pop lower there, nothing major. Nothing too exciting just yet, folks. So there was our little pro blower, and it looks like we'll go ahead and continue. NASDAQ's close to putting in highs of the day, new high of the day. There's our push. See if we can take it up into the 90s. Feels like we will. Tempted to get long here, ride it up to the high 80s. Okay, I just got long. I'll be watching it below this 74 level. NASDAQ putting in new highs. S&P trying to. Not there just yet. See if we can push and get above the open here. That'd be helpful. So I'm wrong if we hang out below 74 for too long. I'd watch it around 72. I wouldn't be out immediately if we go under 74. But I'm looking for a push up here in the higher 80s. NASDAQ still showing strength. S&P getting close, not putting in new highs just yet. And again, like I've just worn myself out saying this, I feel like we're in no man's land. But I think we could explore price up into 87, 88. All right, I'm going to take a little bit off the table here, taking a third off. There we go. Taking off a little bit more here. Yep. Got my stop at break even. Actually, I'll go a little bit lower than that. Let's see how high we're going to go. I'm going to take off the other bit right here. So I'm still in a tenth of my original position. And looking to get out of it pretty soon, to tell you the truth. It went in my favor pretty quick there. Scaled out of a little bit more there. And be looking for 88 to 90 for a final target. I'm going to flatten right there. All right, that one wasn't bad. Worked quickly, right? Went in my favor pretty quick. As I mentioned earlier, the ones that I put on that do work well, they tend to go in my favor quickly. Not a lot of waiting that I have to do. So that was one where I was ready to wait 15 minutes or more to get there. I thought we might meander around here a little bit longer than push higher, but the NASDAQ was showing strength, putting in new highs of the day, so I thought, all right, let's jump on it. Got in right here at 78 half, 78 3/4. Figured it'd be a little dicey if we got below this, but we just had a nice push up quick here. So I scaled out the last of them right at 87 half. And not to say that I'm going to get short here or anything like that. But I'm keeping in mind that we could very likely just find balance today. Balance back and forth, back and forth. See if we can push up a little bit higher. Little bit more. NASDAQ getting close to that 14,600 level. So we also ask ourselves, what is the market trying to do, and is it doing a good job? And the thing that I've got to remember is to have progression over perfection, right? There's no such thing as trading perfectly. It's too nuanced. There's too many variables. There's too many random movements within the market to be able to fire off trades perfectly. So we want to have progress over perfection. Another thing is really seeing the trade before it happens, visualizing what you think it might do and the likelihood of that. All right, so here we're up in the high 80s, right? Got up to almost 88. We'll call it 87.75 right here. And a lot of people took profit. I wouldn't be surprised if we come back into here or even come back somewhere near the lows of the day. Well, at least maybe the overnight low. So just one of those days, at least as of yet it is. Things can change quickly, of course. Let me pull up the NASDAQ here, take a look at what I was seeing. So as the E-mini was coming up, NASDAQ was putting in new highs. This is the 15-minute chart on the NASDAQ. And then my last scale out was when NASDAQ was getting close to this level here. Doesn't mean that it couldn't have just went right through it and ripped. It sure could have. Anything can happen. According to Mark Douglas, we've got to remind ourselves that something will happen and anything can happen. As long as we remember that, we're in good shape as traders. Something can happen, or anything can happen, and something will happen. All right, so here's our 15-minute. Another big thing is like letting the market tell you what it wants to do. Too often times in the past I've thought, well, we're getting this pattern, but maybe it'll do this because perhaps at some point the pattern was an anomaly and the market acted a certain way. It's better to allow the market to just show us what it wants to do, what it's trying to do. So for myself, I have been thinking about shorting it with the thought that maybe we fail, get under here, and then push lower. Which, again, something can happen, and anything will happen. But that might be a little bit far-fetched for what today's doing. So we'll consider and see. We'll just keep a watchful eye. All right, so NASDAQ got really close to that 14.6. It's failed off of it. And we've just run straight up. Back at the S&P, so we came down into the opening range, trying to push higher now. I'm considering a short up here. I might start one small. All right, I'm in, let's see, a quarter of the size that I'll allow myself to do. Let's watch here and see what we get. See what we get up above 90 to 94. So we had a quick rejection of that area there, going up higher. Keeping an eye on NASDAQ here. We've got another 5 minutes until a new 15-minute bar opens on NASDAQ. So it came up to that 14.6, pushed quite a bit lower, got rejected. Now it's right back up at it. So again, I'm in small relative to what I'll trade. Yep, 90 is a good level. So we'll watch this area, this 80 level. See if that can get cracked. So I'm keeping in mind, as I mentioned earlier, that today could be a rotational day. A day where we just, see come up, then down, then up, then down. All right, I'm taking a third off right here. So NASDAQ tried again to push up, and it's failing, coming in a bit lower. Pleased with my scale out, right at 80.5 as we got down lower to that level. I may add some if we get a little bit higher, but not much. And here come the bulls. Here they come. All right, let's see here. Oh, 9 9:27, almost 9:28. Stuck here in no man's land. Watching the 15-minute and the 1-minute. Now I'm also keeping an eye on the 5-minute and price action on the NASDAQ as well. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can't flush it down through the overnight low. That'd be a good spot. Well, NASDAQ's still kind of hanging in tough. Still hanging tough. We got a minute and a half until a new 15-minute bar is formed on both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. I'm in small, up at 86.5. Got out of a third of my position down here. Still holding 2/3. Watching 90 to 94 if we get up there. See what kind of a reaction we get from that area. So on the 1-minute, showing a little bit of like a cup and handle right here, right? We've come up above it. Can't get below that 80 level, kind of curling here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do push a bit higher. NASDAQ trying to push higher. Let's see. So value, let's kind of look at value from yesterday. It's really 90 to about 45.05. I've got to be mindful that we could be trying to push back into yesterday's value into this range. So I'll give this one about as high as 94. If we come up and then push back down, that'd be, if I'm short, that would be good for me. So looks like we're trying to get in that value area. That's where the market spent its time yesterday from about 9:15 on. The whole day was just in this range here. And it looks like we might be doing such. So I'm going to get out. I'm going to flatten. Well, I'm going to hang with this one. I'm still in 2/3. I'm in 1/3 as of now. Figure if it comes up and fails, I can always get in it later on. All right, I'm going to flatten. I'm out on that one for a scratch. I took a little bit of profit because we had that third that I scaled out down here. So now we'll watch and see if it does, in fact, get up into this value area, what it's going to do. It looks like it's going to. Tempted here to try to get long against 80, but I'm not that short term of a time frame kind of a trader, but it is tempting. watch it here. We'll see. Want to see it hold 80. I'm going to buy just a little bit here. I'll be wrong if we're below 80. Let's see if we push up into that area. Feels like we're going to. We're trying to. Getting closer. NASDAQ pushing higher. This is one where it's a quicker trade. If it doesn't go and do what I want it to quickly, I'll just get out of it. I'm in this one real small. So let's see if we get up into this area. All right, Mr. Market. It's trying. So I'm looking at a 5-minute. Well, you can see here on the 15 how we just spent all this time yesterday in here. I'm wrong if we're below 80. So we got up to the high 80s, kind of took out that high there. Curling here a bit. Let's see if we can push up higher, get acceptance up in here. NASDAQ's come in a bit. It did reach its high, got over 14.6. Watching the 5-minute, it is putting in higher lows. That can obviously change in an instant. I'm going to give this one a few more minutes. NASDAQ just tried to make a push to get up into its value area from the other day. Was unsuccessful. Let's see if the S&P holds here. NASDAQ looking a little stronger now. Here we go. This could be it. I'm wondering if 84 is their level that holds. Let's see. Okay, NASDAQ looking strong. This is pretty much where we need to do it. This is where we need to make it happen. Need to make it happen, Captain. All right, NASDAQ trying again. This is kind of do or die for the S&P right here. NASDAQ trying. Can't get it. Can't get it. Okay. Let's see if we can get it this time. Let's see if we can get it here. Oh, there we go. All right, what's the market trying to do, and is it doing a good job? Well, it's trying to push up a little bit into value, and it's not doing a great job. Didn't figure that it would. It is a day that I feel could be rotational. Of course, all that could change in an instant. So, yeah, where we're at, I'm really needing to see it hold. Like to see it hold this 82 level. Not too excited about this one anymore. Time frame, how long we've been in this one? 9-10 minutes. Not too long. Nasdaq's still showing strength. It's not given up just yet. But I'm liking this trade less and less the more that I have to sit here and wait for it. Less and less. Oh. All right, let's see if 82 holds. We need that one to hold right there. If not, that's it. So we've got this wick up, got this one down. I need to see it push up here pretty soon, within the next few minutes, or else that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote on that one. All right, could this be it? Stop is down to that wick that we just put in. See if we can move it. This is it. Let's see what Nasdaq's doing. Let's see if we can get it. So my stop's right here at this wick. I'm not giving it anything past that on this one. It'd be a small loss, but it wouldn't be anything major. In fact, I've got some runners. I'm going to move them up just a little bit. Move them up a little bit higher. Well, I'll keep them by that wick there. Nasdaq's hanging in there. S&P 5-minute, not looking great. My stop is quite tight though, so I like the risk to reward. But it looks like that's going to be it. All right, just got stopped out. That's it. So initially I had my stop at this area here. Let's see if it holds that area. Yeah, that was the sign right there. Had this wick up, put that wick in down, looked like it was going to go and then fail. Right there, that was that. I'm pleased with the risk management on that one though. So even if I did have my stop here, it would have got stopped out. So I'm pleased with having that stop at 82.5, right at that wick. Oh, today could be a day that just chops you up. So we couldn't. That's something to note. We couldn't get into value up here. We weren't able to. Weren't able to do it. I thought for sure. I thought there that we might have a little bit of a curl, maybe pierce up into value, take some profit up here, and then see if it could run further. We didn't do that. We couldn't get into value. So that's that. Looked decent on NASDAQ there for a minute. Breached the high, put in a new high. S&P couldn't do the same. And so that was the end of the party. Not a great day so far. I'm down just a little bit, but market's not giving us much just yet. Not doing too much. Could be a rotational day. As I mentioned before, I think I mentioned it yesterday, or the day before rather, we've had, let's go to the daily screen. We've had so much movement up, 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 up. It feels like either some kind of consolidation and digestion, and then move up, or maybe we push a bit lower. Today I was a little bit of the mindset that we could push lower. Probably should have been shorting up in the area where we just were, but woulda, shoulda, coulda. Alright, so couldn't get into yesterday's value area. That's interesting. Well, I still don't see anything that really excites me much. So NASDAQ's getting close to its overnight low. Isn't there yet? S&P's right at it. A little below it now. So I've got to ask myself I'm just thinking internally, is today a doji day? Or is it a day where we push lower? is here. Well, so like I said, just a little bit under flat for the day. Um, I was looking to get short down here, and I did. Market came up, got stopped out right here. We shorted up here, took some off here, took some more off here, and then got out of it. Last bit of it, flatten it, and then ended up trying to get long up here, thinking we might breach that 90 area, get up into the mid 90s as the Nasdaq was looking strong. We never did that, and came down here. Watch this area. Looked like we were going to push up above. Once we got up here, I had my stop right here below that 82.5. So good risk management on that one, really. My premise was right coming up here. We didn't get acceptance into yesterday's value area. If we look at, this is all of yesterday from here to here. Yesterday, the whole day, value is found between 90 and about 45, 05 or 04 really. This is a day that's just, for me, it's kind of tricky to trade. It could be a doji day. It could be kind of a digestion day. At least as it looks right now. We got to be mindful that anything can change, and things can change rather quickly as well. So even here, Nasdaq's S&P's looking weak, but Nasdaq has had a pretty significant bounce off of the recent low it's put in the last few minutes, and now it's wanting to push a bit higher. So to me, this is a day where it'd be easy to get just chopped up. I need to see some movement and some commitment from one either sellers or buyers, one way or the other, and it's just a day where there's a lot of indecision, just going back and forth. I shouldn't say indecision. It's really a day where value is being found, probably right around this 77 level. If we just drew a line between where the market is, we're finding value, not too much deviation away from the middle of the day. As of now, things can always change and adjust. Nope. Perhaps now it wants to push higher. Maybe it took out some of the weak hands up here, came down, tested that wick right here. See if we get a continuation higher. Nasdaq's certainly looking stronger. I still wouldn't mind shorting this market. I need to find a good entry, and I simply don't have one just yet. I'm going to scroll through a few other charts here. Oops. Let's see. All right. Try to get long here, maybe. All right. I just bought holding against the low right here. Might be a little bit too busy today, but we'll see. 660. All right, I just got out of a third right here. Got my stop pretty close to where I entered. It's just going to be down here. in this area. Seeing if we can make another attempt to get up higher here. I'll scale out if we do get up to say 87, 86. All right, I'm out of half of my position. Let's see if we can push it and get up a little bit higher. Stop is right down here. All right, there we go. Let's get a little bit higher here. A little bit more. Nope. Can't do it. All right. I'm out of 2/3. Today to me is just a choppy day. Choppy day. Looking for the next piece to take off up around here. NASDAQ looking decent. Yeah, the market's not in a hurry to get there though, I'll tell you that much. Jeez Louise. Alright, I'm holding 1/6 of my original position, and stop has moved up to 78.5. If we run, that'd be great. If we run higher, that's cool. If not, stop is right here. Let's see, right at my entry point. Now this is one I'm not going to take it off. If we get up here, I'll just move my stop up a little bit higher and see if we can get acceptance up into this area. I would consider a short somewhere in the low 90s. right, let's see if we can do it here. Get up into yesterday's value area. What a snoozer of a day. Holy cow. Snoozy, snoozy. Yep, so we got to get above 90 and 45.05. That's our area. Let's see if we can. I'm going to make those yellow so they're different from the open. All right. My stop is still right down here. I'm just going to hold this one and see if we can get up into here. NASDAQ looking good, showing strength. Trying to get up into yesterday's value area. Got my stop just below this at 78.5. And again, this is just that last sixth of my original entry, which was down in here. Or no, sorry. It was right around 78.5 actually. So I got my stop right at break even. Just trying to let it run. See if it can do what it do. Make it do what it do. Now, today is a day where movements are short, choppy, kind of quick. So ideally, I like to trade and look for longer term time frames. Today, I feel like on the daily bar could just be a doji, where buyers and sellers are both finding value. They're digesting the big move that the market's had over the last 7 days. So there's not a lot of conviction one way or the other. So today, just with momentum being what it is, I'm mindful of the fact that we could just kind of waffle and waver, which is really what we're doing so far. Here's the 15-minute, really not giving us any clear direction as of yet, except for the fact that resistance is here, support is down here. We'll see if we can breach resistance and get up into here. I'm not holding my breath. So yeah, just with the momentum, the tempo of the day, it's something where my trades are a lot quicker. I'm a bit more impatient with them. If it doesn't work quickly, I'll get out of it. And a lot of it is just more like gut feel versus longer term time frame levels. Snoozer today, 10:06. I might wrap it up for the day. That might be it for me. So again, we tried getting back up into value again. We couldn't do it. Doesn't mean that we can't here within the next half hour or so. NASDAQ similarly tried to get up there and it couldn't. Let's see what we're going to do here. Let's see. Let's go 5 minutes. There we go. so here we are, 15 minute. Let's pull up the NASDAQ here. Same thing. Resistance is up here. We've been trying to push above it. We're still trying. So it makes me feel like there's a chance that the S&P could push higher and get accepted into value. But it's a small enough chance and not a big enough faraway target, and that's the reason I only have on a sixth of my original position. Looking to see if we can get up in here, find some kind of acceptance in that area. Not holding my breath for sure. Stop is right down here at 78.5. It's my break-even level. And that's really going to be about it for today for me. I've just got a target up here at 96. And then it'll get me out here at 78.5 or 96, whatever's hit first. It looks like this might be the spot. Let's take a Tesla. Boy, Tesla's ripping. I'm going to draw a few lines here. Oh, nope, that's nothing that's too interesting. Let's try this line here to here. There we go. Let's see if we can push up above it. NASDAQ wanting to go higher here. Trying to. S&P trying to do the same. stop on this one is now just under this little wick right here. All right, NASDAQ finally looking like it is could go a little bit higher. It's above that 14.6 level. Let's see if we can push up to 90 here. So certainly our first area of contention is, I'm going to highlight that level. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. First area of contention is this right here. Got to get above and hold that. So far I'm looking at the 5 minute. Here, let me scroll over to 5 minute. Let's just lift it up here. Here's a 5 minute. So looking at this one, 5 minute chart, we've come up, come down, come up, come down. We're putting in higher lows. I feel like today is likely to be, again, just a rotational day where we rotate back and forth. But our first level of contention that we've got to get above is this 86 level. That's really where the battle happens. If we can get above that and hold it, we should at least see 90, and then maybe I would give it, 95. NASDAQ looking stronger. It's kind of hanging in there. So that's what we're looking at. Let's see if we can follow suit here, if the S&P can. So the main thing is to know, like, there's different contexts for different days, right? We've got to consider what the market did yesterday and how it's a day where all day we were just in this range right here. Let me back out. All day. Oops. Oh, come on. Here we go. All day we were in this range yesterday. So it's not like today, this curling scenario here, it's bullish for sure. It's definitely bullish. But when we consider that yesterday, the majority, almost our whole day was spent between here and here. Now we've kind of come down. We're digesting the news or the big move a bit. It's feeling like the market wants to just try to get back up into here. So this is one where, though it is bullish, we have to remember that it could be very likely a rotational day where we're just rotating, looking for value, kind of meandering back and forth. If this was a day where the market had been down several days, and then today we're seeing a pattern like this on the 5 minute and the 1 minute, where we've got the line here, higher lows putting in, it would give me cause to think that, okay, like there's a good chance that we run quite a bit higher. Whereas today it looks like all the market's trying to do is get back to its home, and its home was up here from yesterday. So there it is again, that 86 half level came up there, just got rejected. Let's see if she rips. See if she does it. Feels like it wants to. I just bought back a little bit more, so I'm in a third of the original position. I'm wrong if we're much below this level right here. And I'm going to move that stop up a little tighter. So now my stop's right here at this level. Thinking I want to see it go here. This is its time to go. Now or never. NASDAQ looking good, pushing a bit higher. Feeling like S&P could follow suit. Got to get above that 86 level and hold it though. 5 minutes looking good. Here we go. Let's see if this is it. NASDAQ looking strong. So on that one where I entered a little piece, I'm trailing a pretty tight stop on it. My stop now is this 86 level. Seeing if we can push above 90. Be great if we could. But I don't want to get rejection at 90 and then have it come down to 86. So I've got a really tight scale on that one. Stop on it rather. Here we go. Bumping up against that value area. Seeing if we can go higher. I'm just a tick away from that tree. Okay, so I'm stopped out of one. Well, not stopped out, but I took some off right here at 88 half and came up to 90. Now that's it. That's all she wrote. So now the remaining position, that sixth, I'm just going to leave my stop right here at 82. Got up to 90. Still can't do it. This will be the tell here. Let's see if we can hold above this 86 level. That's really what we need to do, what the bulls want to see it do. Let me pull up. I'm just going to refer to NASDAQ real quick. NASDAQ looking pretty solid, pretty strong, but it's also close to yesterday's close. Yesterday's close is pretty close. Pretty close. I don't know how I feel about that. Come in quite a bit. Let's see, 86. Move this one over here. Okay, so again, here's that 5 minute that we referred to earlier. Looking at it, this is bullish for sure, but we came up here and got rejected. We haven't yet closed below 86, but it's looking like we may on the 5 minute. So we'll watch the 1 minute, so we come up, hold a little support here, and then make one more attempt to get up into value. I've got my stop on that last sixth of my runner, moved right up to just below here. It's 82 half. So that's that. NASDAQ very close to the close yesterday, which is a lot stronger than the S&P. But this is what we're looking at. So we've got another 10 seconds until this bar is done. This could be telling as to what we do here. So we'll be watching that one. Do, 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 do. All right, let's see if we run it. See if we run it. See if we can get it accepted above 90. Trailing stop still here. It was here, then we moved it up to here. Now it's here. 10:25. Got another 4.5 minutes until a new 15-minute bar is printed. Market looks like it's trying now slowly to get back up into value. I'm not super bullish, even though the chart indicates bullishness. It's a meandering market. Boy, Tesla sure is strong. I'm wondering if that's not giving the NASDAQ some extra gas. Yeah, Tesla's really strong today. Last week, really. Really strong. Boy, Tesla was down at 760 just a week and a half ago. Now it's at 1040. Really big move on that one. Apple, a lot of the tech stocks are up pretty big amount. Let's see. All right, back to Emini. Okay, there we are. 90 came up to it, getting rejected, but I mean, we're only looking at a 2-point move, so it's pretty insignificant here. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me. I've got one runner on. I'm looking to get out at 97, and my stop is right up here at 83. I'm not giving that one too much room. I'm just going to let it see if it can move a bit. Always got to be mindful and ask, what is the market trying to do, and is it doing a good job? Those are good questions to ask ourselves. And that's going to be it for me today.